Welcome back to my channel. If you watched the first video, this is literally the second video on my channel. But if you've watched my first video, welcome back. I'm happy to have you. Welcome back to my channel. If you watched the first video, this is literally the second video on my channel. But if you've watched my first video, welcome back. I'm happy to have you. Today, I'm going to be doing a story time. I think that's a good way to start off the channel because I have a story time that it happened long enough ago that I think that I can talk about it, but that's what we're going to be talking about today because this experience is like no other. So without further ado, let's get right on into it. Okay, so basically this story time starts, I have to give you a backstory. I met this girl when I first moved to this city. I moved from a city to a new city. So we're going to give the girl's name. Her name's going to be Anna. Her name's going to be Anna. So I met Anna when I was in officially met her when I was I think in 11th grade, I think. And basically we were the complete opposite. I was very much goth, very much giving goth queen. And so basically what happened was I met Lily. Why do I keep saying Lily? Anna. I met Anna and we became good friends. Basically we were polar opposites, but we became really good friends. So basically me and Lily became, her name was gonna be Lily. Me and Lily became friends, and Lily, basically we had this whole time, we had a whole group of friends. I had another best friend, so Lily became my best friend. And then I had another best friend named, we're gonna call him Brett. Lily and Brett. So Lily and Brett were both my friends, they were my best friends. So after graduation happened, me and Lily decided that we wanted to move. We didn't know if we wanted to stay in the city or if we wanted to go different city that was an hour away. We ended up picking the city that was far away because I wasn't going to college first at the time, she was. So I wanted to move out, but I didn't want to go to college, but I didn't care where I went at that point because I'm trying to figure out my life. I'm 18, I didn't know what I wanted to do like I do now. So basically what happens is I end up just following Lily wherever she went because that was my best friend and I didn't have any plans that was keeping me in the general city area. So I decided to follow her. Now, bitch, we move into this apartment, it was cool getting it set up. So we got approved for the apartment. It was a cute situation. The situation was cute. We got our stuff, whatever. So it was cute. We were living together at that point. We both finally got some jobs, whatever. So we had been working, if this was August, this is we moved in August. So literally the end of the summer. So I had been working up so that we can move into this area. I still came broke as fuck though. I'm not gonna lie. I came broke as fuck, but I got a job in time so I was able to pay bills. Now, remember we have Brett. So Brett had a bad family life and basically his mom was if he doesn't join the military or go to college, because he wasn't ready to go to college either, she said if you are not going to the military or if you're not going to college right away, then you're going to have to get the fuck out and be homeless. So me being a good friend, I was maybe I'm gonna go ask Lily to see if he can move in with us because Lily was familiar with him and we were all really good friends. It gets kind of wishy-washy though because Brett had a crush on Lily, but Lily did not have a crush on Brett. She tried because I was trying to hook them up, but they dated briefly and then it didn't go anywhere. So basically, after that, I'm talking to Brett the entire summer, mind you. I'm talking to him the entire summer. We hung out. After we moved, we're talking I would say in September and October, we're talking August, September, October, we're talking in that time, we always do because we're best friends, but he starts saying some weirdly flirtatious things. This is when we were talking on Kick. This is when Kick was a thing. And he had been texting me some stuff, I didn't realize he was flirting with me at the time, but now that I look back, yeah, he definitely was. And he was just talking about I don't know why I didn't notice this in the beginning. He was I wonder what our babies would look like, and like all sorts of shit like that. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's literally what he was talking about. And you know me, I didn't know. Like, I was like, okay, what the fuck? So I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. So I was just going with the flow though. He was like, I miss you, whatever. And you know, I'm a soft girl, so I was like, I miss you too. You know, he was flirting with me, but I didn't know. So this is when things started getting complicated. So, you know, I'm single at this time, like a Pringle. And mind you, Lily and Brett are like my best friends. So I tell them anything. So I basically had a crush on this guy that worked at this Whole Foods co-op. He was cute. We're gonna name him, actually we're not even gonna give him a name. He's short-lived. He's honestly not even necessary enough to give a name to. I'm not gonna go through that. Basically one day my mom was visiting me and Lily, and we went to this co-op. Like, it wasn't a Whole Foods or anything. It was like your friendly neighborhood, you know, organic co-op. And we go in there, and this guy was so cute. He had locks. He was just so pretty. Like, he's so pretty. He looks so good. So I went out of my way. Well, I didn't go out of my way. Actually, I'm lying. I just admired him. And then when we were stepping out, I told him, I was like, Mom, he's cute. Like, you know? And my mom, she made us grab the bags in our hands, like what the bags she was carrying. And she literally went, and she was gone for like 5 minutes. Shawty came back with his phone number and gave it to me, but she forgot to ask his name. I texted him, and y'all, tell me why I didn't know this man's name for like a good 2 weeks that we were talking. And I didn't want to ask for his name because I started talking to him and I just felt like that was so rude. Like, I didn't know when to ask for his name. Like, I don't know why, I just didn't know when to ask. After that, push comes to shove, and I'm starting to figure out that this is not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So what I do is I kind of, how do you say, I kind of like just accepted the fact that he was boring as fuck and this was going nowhere. He was boring as fuck. All he talked about was playing basketball with his friends and working out at the gym. That's all he talked about with the same friend. That's all he talked about. And not talk, at that point I was like, you know what, like, you like your friend at that point. So basically what I did was I kind of like, I invited him over for, he was a vegan. I invited him over for like a dinner, and my roommate wasn't there. Like, she was gone, and my room was not together yet, like at all, because again, I was broke as fuck and working a shitty job, and my parents like couldn't help me, so I had to like make everything by myself. But her room was like put together, so I asked her like, oh, can we hang out in your room, because my room looks like a fucking mess. I wasn't meaning to do anything, but like, you know, he came over, and tell me why he didn't even eat my food. No, at that point, when he didn't eat what I slaved to cook him, y'all, I cooked him a whole vegan feast with dessert. At that point, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to call it quits. We're gonna have to call it quits. So basically we're watching this movie, and he like, his phone died. And after his phone died, you know, push comes to shove, we didn't do that. We like, I basically went down on him. Like, I didn't know how, but I did. And so it was so fucking awkward. And I just stopped talking to him after that. So that whole thing happened. So that's that story about how that happened. So the next thing that happened was, remember Brett? I was so excited because, you know, I'm a virgin, and I just did some like wild shit. Like, at the time, that was just wild for me. Like, I was like 18, that was wild for me. So basically what I did was I went and I told Brett, and tell me why Brett, he had a whole attitude. He had a whole attitude, and his whole persona changed. Like, he had a whole attitude, guys. He got mad at me, and I'm sitting here like, why the fuck is he getting mad at me, you know? So finally, so skip forward. I'm over here asking Lily if he can move in. Lily says yes, because we know him, like, we know him from school, we know him. He moves in, and that's when hell broke loose. That was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. So basically what happens is he moves in. First of all, at this point in our friendship, if I haven't mentioned it, I like him. Like, I do. I came to like him, like have a crush on him, because he was talking to me like a certain way. Like, he was just talking to me a certain way that it made me like him. So basically I get a little crush on him. I like him. Y'all, when I like somebody for real, I like him for real, y'all. When I like somebody for real, I like them for real. So he was in, and I'm thinking, okay, like, I'm gonna ask him to go on dates, y'all. I like him. I liked him. So, y'all, we move in, and guess what? He tells me that I used to like you, but I don't like you anymore because of the thing that happened. And now he likes Lily because he's obsessed with Lily. He's always been obsessed with Lily all throughout high school, and Lily didn't want him. I'm hurt at this point. You know, it's giving that just hurt the fuck my feelings really bad. So basically I'm like, I don't want to make it awkward, whatever. So what I do was nothing. What the fuck? What am I supposed to do? Like, you know, I still want him to be my friend. It's never that deep. So basically everything was okay. One day this is really when it went downhill. One day we're sitting down and we're sitting down on the couch, and it's kind of late, and Lily went to sleep. And mind you, he's staying in my room because it wasn't weird for us to stay, like, for me to share a bed with him, because we did that in high school. My mom used to let him come over, and we did it in high school because we were just friends. I'm sorry, you guys, it wasn't unnatural for us not to be in the same vicinity. We were best friends. He never did anything weird. It was like hanging out with my brothers, to be very honest with you. So that's why we're hanging out in this room. We're in the living room, and Lily went to sleep, and like, we were trying to set up the TV, but then something happened with the TV, so we're just basically sitting there talking, like, while there's like a blue screen on the TV, we're just sitting here talking, trying to figure it out, like, and then we're just talking like how we usually talk. You know, I didn't feel nervous or anything. Y'all, he literally looks at me and he's like, should we kiss? Or he like, do you want to kiss? He said, should we kiss or do you want to kiss? One of those. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, when I tell you, y'all, I was shook. I was shook, girl. So that's what we did. Push come to shove, that's what we did. We kissed. It wasn't just a little, it was that kind of kiss. It was like a strong, passionate kiss, girl. Like, it's giving that was building up. That's what it gave, literally. Like, you know, when you kiss somebody after like tension in the air, that's what it gave. Even though, like, I didn't feel like there was he kissed me like there was a tension in the air. Like, when he asked me, do you want to kiss or should we kiss or something, that's when I felt the tension all of a sudden. I was like, okay, I didn't think it was that. It's because I'm just so innocent. Like, promise you I was. So basically we start kissing, and then I can't believe I'm telling this, it moved on to like something else. Not like all the way, but it was something else. I'm not gonna say it on YouTube because I just feel like I don't want to get in trouble, but it was like him putting his like hand in my pants, like that kind of thing. Like, it wasn't anything else but that. Girl, first of all, ouch. Second of all, we started doing all that, y'all, for like the next half an hour, and then I don't remember what happened after that, like if I just went to sleep or something or whatever. But y'all, being that I was 18 years old, I don't know, that kind of solidified it for me. The kiss solidified for me, but then we did all that extra shit, so that really solidified it for me. I was like, oh, now I really like him. Anybody that knows me, when I was younger, like, I never, even to this day, like, I never equated sex to love. But at that time, because it was so new to me, I felt like that's how I felt. When in reality, I feel like I was just trying to explore more with him because it was something that, I don't know, like, that piqued my interest. After that, I was just like, I don't know, once that happens, it's just like, I want to try all sorts of shit, but you know, no. Basically, this happens, and I don't really think the next few days we would just kiss. Like, I don't think we did anything else. We just like kissed, and that was it. Like, and mind you, Lily doesn't know we're doing this, so, but not that I'm trying to keep it from Lily, I just felt embarrassed about it because we're all like best friends. Like, I had no reason to keep it from her. So y'all, tell me why. Basically, long story short, I lost my virginity to him. I'm just gonna say, I lost my virginity. That was it. The way it happened was, it happened in such an odd situation, but that's like, I'm not gonna get into it. Just know that I lost my virginity. That's when I told Lily that we were messing around. That's when I told Lily we were messing around. The reason why I told Lily we were messing around was because I didn't think it would be an issue, y'all. Remember when I told y'all he moved in and literally like, it had been like a week after he moved in, that's when he did the whole kissing and you know that canoodling shit. Tell me why I found this out way later on, but I'm gonna put it in this timeline. He had already been doing stuff with Lily when he asked if we should kiss. Because he told me that. He was like, oh yeah, I was doing stuff with Lily way before I was doing stuff with you. Y'all, this man was a piece of shit. And that's when we go into a piece of shittery. At this point, y'all, when I lost my virginity to this man, I was already in love with him. So basically, you guys, he like, I told Lily that, and at the time I didn't notice this, but now thinking back on it, I noticed that she acted so weird. She was like, really? Oh, okay, like, was it like, oh my goodness, like, you know, she was just being weird, y'all. She was just acting like she ain't never seen this man shit before. A whole time she did, like, and she was talking about, she was acting so weird. So weird. So I didn't realize at the time, but now I'm thinking about, yeah, she was being a fucking weirdo. So basically what happens after this is I start noticing that, mind you, I'm in love with him at this point. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm in love with this man at this point. That's it. It's over. So I was always trying to hang out with him, but y'all, he wanted nothing to do. He did want something to do with me. He wanted like ownership over me, but he still wanted to fuck with Lily while fucking with me, basically. You know, some shit like he would go into Lily's room all the time and shit. And mind you, Lily already stressed that she don't like him. Like, I broke up with him in high school because I don't like him. I'm not into him, whatever. So he's always going to Lily's room. Always, like, going to Lily's room, like, to study or whatever. Like, they could just been studying, but by what he's telling me, oh, bitch, they were doing more than studying, but I didn't know. I don't remember when I caught on that they were fucking with each other. I caught on, though, that he was fucking with both of us at once. I don't remember how exactly I found out. But girl, I found out. At that point, I got so disgusted, y'all. We had been doing stuff for so long, and then I finally caught on to the fact that they were doing stuff together. Y'all, the disgust that I felt. And mind you, Lily wasn't telling me that they were doing anything. I told Lily that I did something with him. So I'm thinking that Lily is gonna be like, you know, like, I didn't really think she would care, because she already said she didn't like him like that, and now I liked him. Like, she never liked him. He liked her, but she didn't like him. So basically, how the fuck are you fucking with him? And I told you that I then lost it with him, and now he took your virginity. He took both of our virginity, y'all. Tragic. How are you gonna tell me that? How am I gonna tell you that? And then you are doing all this with him and you don't tell me. Because if she would have told me, I would have stopped doing anything that I was doing with him. Mind you, we had different work schedules. That's why we really didn't know. We had different work schedules, and I never heard anything. So I really would have never known that this was even going on in the first place. After that, what happens is that Lily, I fall into a depression. Like, when I tell you I fall into a depression, I was dealing with like an eating disorder at the time as well. So I had a lot of problems. But I fell into this like deep ass depression where I literally quit my job, and this was wrong of me. I'm not saying this was right. This was my fault now. Like, this is like a fault of mine. I stopped working, and then Brett had to pay my rent for like 2 or 3 months. I think it was 2 or 3 months, because I was just so depressed. Like, I had this eating disorder, and then I didn't want to go home because I had family issues at home at the time, and I had to literally choose to sit here and suffer because he was making me depressed. Mind you, like, at the time that I'm suffering with this eating disorder, stuff really went down the drain with me and Brett, because we got into this whole kind of like, it wasn't a relationship, it was like our friendship. It was like a toxic friendship where he would like, tired of me and my eating disorder, that he would like try to shove food in my throat. Like, I was like bulimic. I still am bulimic, but that's like just who I'm saying it out loud like this because I just came to terms and accepted it, and you know, I'm not proud of it, but I just feel like I shouldn't ignore it anymore and I shouldn't hide it. So he was like shoving food down my throat. I was trying so hard to get a job. I couldn't do anything. I had family issues like no other at home. It was bad. And I was kind of having to choose my battle. I do appreciate him for holding it down and paying my side of the rent. I always will be appreciative of that. But I'm not going to appreciate him abusing me for all that time. Literally to the point where it's traumatized me to this day. I'm traumatized. He ends up moving out because Lily, let's talk about Lily. So backstory about Lily, her parents were just strict as fuck. I knew they were strict as fuck because I went to high school with her. She was like my best friend. So her parents were strict as fuck. So she was so scared that they were gonna find out that Brett was living with us. So this is the middle of the winter now. So at this point in time, it's like December, Christmassy, January time. We had to make Brett go out in the cold every time her parents would come because she was scared her parents finding out that she lived with a man. I only kicked him out because she wanted him out. Honestly, he could have just chilled in my room and they would have never known that he was there. But she made him leave in the whole night they were there, and he had to like be in the cold and all this extra shit. So basically, there we go. So basically, he had to leave and he had to freeze in the cold, which I do feel bad about. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not even proud of that. I feel very bad that he had to be there outside freezing to death. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. I'm not even trying to sound sarcastic. It was her fault though. She made us do it. So finally, she comes out and tells her parents that he lives there and they don't even give a fuck whole time. They don't care. So at this point, he's pissed because now he feels like he's being abused. So now he wants to leave the house because he feels like he's being abused. Whole time he's abusing 2 girls in his house by messing with both of them at the same time and lying to each of them to make them hate each other. Which that was my relationship with Lily was disintegrating because of him. Like he would just say certain things that weren't true. And it would make me so upset that I wouldn't want to talk to her anymore. And she would get mad at me because I was going through a depression. And I took it so personally because Lily had problems in high school too. But I still went out of my way to make sure she was okay. Y'all, I would bake her stuff. I would buy her things. But when I was down, she didn't want to help me go back up. So that pressed me. I'm not going to lie. I was like pressed about that. So I just didn't want to be her friend anymore because your true friends will show their true colors, bitch, when the time comes and when shit gets real. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. It's true. Like, that's what they do. He moves out. I go through, like, you know, I'm still depressed because he moves out. Now, not only, like, at this point, I'm in love with my abuser, basically. I'm in that situation. He moves out, and I'm sad. He moved out because he finally got in contact with his father. So he wanted to live with him and get comfortable with their families, and that was good. Good for him. So basically, after that, he moves out for some months, and then it's just me and Lily in the house. And I was like, in December, I had gone to New York and I had came back, and they didn't even seem excited to see me because, and you know why? Because all they do is talk shit, like, and then Lily whole time is lying that she's not like doing stuff with him, and then he tells me, which I don't know, maybe it could be a lie. He tells me that I went to New York for like a week, and I come back and he tells me like, yeah, we were doing it all over the house and all this extraness. But then Lily would tell me that, oh, she didn't do anything with him, like she doesn't have sex with him, whatever. So personally, I don't give a fuck because at the time I was so disgusted with him, y'all, that I don't know, it was just so nasty, like, because of what he did. Like I'm over here like he's just playing. He's playing us and doing all this extra. So basically after that, like, they were not excited to see me when I came back. When I came back from New York in December of that year, that's when I really started to get my life together. Like, I got a job finally again at Forever 21. I was able to pay my bills. I still had this beef with Lily though. He had, like, when I came back in December, he had not moved out yet. I know it's confusing. He had not moved out yet. He was about to move out. He moved out like in the spring. I think it was the spring. After I came back in December, he moved out that spring, and I wasn't messing or fooling around with him because I knew that him and Lily were. Mind you, Lily, like, along the way, Lily gets a boyfriend. So she wasn't messing with him anymore, but it's like at that point, I don't know, it just got weird as fuck. I didn't want to like be in between. I was disgusted, and he would try to make me sleep with him again, but I just don't want to do it. basically now we're in the predicament where he moves out and I'm with Lily in the house, and it was okay, it was cordial, but it's like I just didn't feel a certain way anymore because I was just so, I was still depressed, but I was working and depressed, and it's like at this point our friendship had been at an all-time low because of what happened. He moves back in, y'all, and this is when we start going to college. This is when I start going to college for criminal justice. He moves back in, and we're both going to college, and mind you, during that summer that he was gone, he asked me to be his girlfriend. So mind you, while he moved out, a month later, he's like professing his feelings towards me, and I had to tell my coworker at the time, I don't know if I'm gonna do it because it's like a weird situation, you know what I mean? But I still did it, and that's when I fucked up again, because we were dating all through the summer, we were having fun, y'all. I'm pretty sure he was only dating me because he wanted to move back in, but I didn't catch it at the time because I was just so in love, and like, yo, he came to visit me, and you know, and in reality, I think he was also just coming to see Lily, and the whole time Lily had a boyfriend. So anyway, he moves back in, it's college time. Y'all, first of all, I'm pretty sure we broke up, I think October. Basically dated for 5 months. 5 months? Yeah, it was like 5 months, and we broke up because, bitch, guess what I found? I went through his phone, and tell me why he was talking to my other high school friend. This was the fakest shit. He was talking to my other high school friend about how he was gonna break up with me. She, like, the person that he was texting, she asked, have you broken up with Jada yet? He was like, no, I'm planning on doing it a little bit after school started. So, bitch, he was working overnight, so I waited till he came back home, and guess what? I confronted him, and then he gonna get mad because I was looking through his shit, but he's not addressing the issue in which he was bogus as fuck. So we broke up, and then again, I got depressed. But I still rocked out my semester of college, and basically at this point, so many things have gone on that I have not gone into detail yet. If you want a more detailed story time about our relationship and all those things that happened in between, I'll do one. But at this point, so much shit has happened that I come to the realization that I have to move out, okay? I'm like, my family had already moved to a different house and a different, you know, whatever. So I made the realization I have to move out. I was going to move to another apartment with Lily, but I decided not to. We had our deposit ready and everything, but I decided it wasn't a good idea for me to move out because of these issues that we're having, and I knew it wasn't gonna stop. So I announced that I'm moving out. Tell me why I found out. Tell me why Brett tells me, Lily was gonna move out. Why is Lily moving out for? Because I was depressed and she couldn't handle that I was depressed, but when we were in high school I could handle you were depressed. So I'm like, no, I'm moving out. And then all of a sudden she didn't want to move out anymore, because so clearly she was moving out because of me, because me and Brett were spending so much time together, and this bitch felt like left out. But it's like, bitch, you have a boyfriend, like go hang out with him, like, because I was just annoyed with her at that point. I'm sorry, but it was true. So I'm annoyed at her because Brett is saying stuff that I don't even know is you know, like, I don't even really take it to heart because I know who she is. So some things I really wouldn't take to heart, but some things probably were the truth. Like, and it's the fact that she never confronted me about anything that I did that bothered her. She would just do too much, basically. Like, I don't even know. So basically, we kind of just, I moved out. And when I moved out, like, that's really when it was over. Like, out of all the things that I went with them, mind you, I can do another part 2 video because there's so many things that happened, y'all. I'm telling you, like, one day, like, he grabbed me by my arm and he dragged me into the living room by my arm. I never had a man put hands on me, but he dragged me into the living room and by my arm, and they both started screaming at me on how I needed to eat and stop throwing up. Bitch, what the fuck? Who does that? You know what I mean? Who does that when somebody is struggling? Like, and you want to sit there and yell at him? And y'all, the only thing I could say after they were done was, okay, can I go to my room now? Because you don't do that. Honestly, y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was depressed and I had my eating disorder problems and stuff, all I wanted my friends to do was to make me feel like I had a safe space so that I could go through this. I quit my job, and it's true, I shouldn't have did that, and I left them the burden of the bills. But at the same time, I would have done the same thing for them. And I would have tried to help them. Like, I think I was depressed there for so long that nobody gave a fuck about my mental health. Mind you, my Lily is in a nursing program, and I'm over here giving her gift baskets and trying to, like, woo, you can do it, her way through this damn degree. But you couldn't do the same for me. That's that fake shit I'm talking about. The only time I can think about was one day she kind of laid on me and asked what was wrong. Like, and I was like, you know, it just wasn't, I just feel like it was forced, because they would get mad because I would be in my room all day. Like, girl. Basically, I moved out, and y'all, at this point I established I didn't want to be friends with him. Y'all, tell me why we just kept. And finally, I got over it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I said I just wanted to be friends. And he didn't want to do that. And he disrespected. I'll honestly try to put screenshots in here. I don't know if I'll put screenshots, but I'll try to put screenshots of these fucked up conversations that we had. And yeah, the reason why our whole thing ended was because he found out that I liked another guy. Like, I liked another guy that I had been talking to for a while, actually. I had been talking to this guy for like a long time. And he got upset because I had been talking to this guy and I liked him, and I was in a toxic relationship. So, or a friendship, whatever it was like an ownership, unfortunately. Finally, I really stopped fucking with him. He didn't talk to me for a whole year because I said that I was fucking with this new guy. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. He didn't work out though because he's just boring. So, but I liked him. He was great. His name was A. Yeah, we're gonna call him A. He was real cool. I still think he's cool to this day. We never ended on bad terms. It just wasn't gonna work. So he tried talking to me again after that, like, and you know me, I was so nice. I was helping him with his fast, but he would make up excuses and he would still be trying to canoodle. Finally, enough was enough, and I never talked to him again. That's basically my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is my first story time. I'm gonna try to get better at story times, honestly, in the near future. This is only my second YouTube video, but I hope that you all enjoyed my story time today. And make sure to click that subscribe button and leave a thumbs up if you like my content, and I will be posting 2 times a week. I decided my 2 days are probably going to be Wednesdays and Fridays that I'm going to upload. So we'll see. I'll probably start on that schedule starting next week. So you will hear more from me. If you have any content ideas, if you want a part 2 or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.